Ruff Talk VR.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about the winner of our first ever community subreddit voted episode.
Yeah.
We held a little poll to decide, a community inputted game for us to review.
And it looks like the results could have gone either way on the spectrum of things.
Yeah, like in terms of a really good game or a really bad game, is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you were thinking that people, because what we did is we let everybody nominate games for 1 week on the subreddit, which, by the way, this is a reason that you should follow and subscribe to our subreddit and our Discord channel, partake in fun stuff like this. But, we let people nominate games for 1 week, and by the end of the week of nominations, you were like, man, a lot of these games are decent. You were like, if it was me, I would have been nominating the worst, like, 1 star.
Whatever. The nastiest game I could.
Yeah, the worst, shittiest game possible. You're like, that's what I would have done.
Hats off to the community for actually picking some good games.
Yeah, I mean, and after the week of nominating, then we held a poll. I've said it 100 times, but, ended up being a tie between this and Ancient Dungeon, which is a really good App Lab game we'll have to review soon. But in the end, the winner of our first ever, community voted game was Green Hell. And god damn, you people chose a good one.
Green Hell it is.
Yeah, well, technically Green Hell VR, because
Yes.
This is a port of an already existing, well-known PC game, console game. It's on the Xbox, it's on the PlayStation, it's on the computer. And this is a little bit of a toned down version. I think that's important to say for anybody who's played the original Green Hell. There's some missing features from it, I guess you could say. There's no multiplayer as of right now. The amount of base building is obviously, tuned down. There's some less items. Some of the mechanics are different than they are on the console.
Graphics suffer. But if you go into it as looking at it as not Green Hell that you've played before,
Black and white, cut and dry, the exact same.
Yeah, just go look at. I'm gonna play this because I like the concept of it and it's in VR. Then you'll probably love it. But if you were hooked on the higher end versions of it, then you're going to be slightly disappointed. But if you don't look at it like that, if you mentally you'll be prepared.
Yeah, it's its own thing. They even say it's a like inspiration or adaptation of the original one. And
correct.
In the end, the core game is there. It's just some of the more advanced features. And when you say graphics tuned down, yeah, of course it's not as good as a high-end gaming PC,
But the biggest complaints always are the same thing, and it's just that repetitiveness of it's not as good as the PC. It's not as good. Well, no,
it's not as good as the console version. Well,
this
it's not.
is its own. You know what? It's its own thing. So
and
enjoy it for what it is, and the fact that we were able to get it.
And honestly, I enjoyed the graphics. It's just that they're not as good as a console version. But for the Quest standards, they're really good.
And I never compare, even when we review any of the graphics to the Quest graphics, or like a PC or every game I play in VR. To me, it's just that
it's its own experience.
Yep. Until we live in a day and age where you can have 4 or 5 different, off the shelf headsets that are all standalones, then
and high quality. It's like we have to be realistic of the level that the Quest is at. I was
where we're
actually
at.
surprised that they got this. It's impressive that it's up and running the way it is on the Quest store.
When I saw the graphics for the first time, I was that was a pretty big, holy crap. This is, and I'm not saying they're the best graphics in the world, because they're not, but the amount of detail and shit that you can walk through, and we'll get to like what I'm actually talking about, because I'm going to jump all ahead here, but why don't you go into the ratings real quick and then the price?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the game's $29.99 on the official Quest store. It's made by developer and publisher. I apologize if I pronounce this incorrect. Incuvo SA. It's a Polish publisher. They have some other titles on the Quest store. It seems like that their shtick is porting like big existing franchises or already existing games to VR. They had a pretty cool website that you can translate to English real easy with Google Chrome. Highly recommend checking it out. They seem like a really cool company. But the game's currently rocking a 4.3 overall on the official Quest store with 1,406 ratings and 822 written reviews.
Which is not bad, and we've seen a nice influx of positive reviews coming more recent over it than when it first came out, because it came out in April of this year, so it's not a very old game by any stretch.
No, and honestly, 1,400 reviews already is pretty impressive to have that in a couple months on the Quest. I'm actually that's a decent number.
And it should be known too, they just literally came out with an update that,
oh my god, it fixes so much.
But I'll say this: if you've never played it and you read the patch notes,
do not read the patch notes. Actually,
there's so many spoilers in the patch notes. It'll actually like take away from the first time play of the game.
Yeah, you even said it exactly. What is true is that like while you're reading the patch notes, you're like, if I read these patch notes, there's certain things.
There's some clues in there that are just like, wow. And it sucks. I mean, they have to say what they fixed.
Yeah, because
but it puts seeds into your head that you wouldn't go into the game ever thinking.
No. So I'll say only look at the patch notes if you've already played the game and you had some complaints, because they're probably fixed. But if you've never played the game, you've never played the console version, anything like that, you don't know anything about the story,
read nothing.
Stay away, because like this game is a survival game. We didn't even mention that. It's called Green Hell. You're in the Brazilian Amazon. You play
you're Jake Higgins, anthropologist.
And in the lore of this game, I'll say, just like when we do escape rooms, even worse than escape rooms.
No, I told you straight up. I go, I have less to say about the story of this than I would an escape room.
Yeah, dude. It's a survival game, but the story mode of it, the story is amazingly done, and I have to be very careful of what I say. But it's an exceptional story. So I was about to say something, and I go, I don't even know if I say that, but I guess I'll say pretty much what they, allude you to in the initial tutorial, I guess is fair.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna personally stick to the survival aspect of it. I mean,
yeah, and just say the story's great.
It takes place in the Amazon jungle.
You play Jake Higgins, an anthropologist,
and when they say like Amazon jungle, it's the freaking jungle. It's like they mean it. It's not.
Yeah, we're talking like uncontacted Brazilian tribes, Amazon.
Yep, there's a bunch of things that can kill you.
There's a lot of ways to die.
Yep, a lot of ways to die.
You can be walking down in the Amazon, everything's looking good, then you get bit by a spider, all of a sudden you're poisoned. Bit by a scorpion. You might be walking, all of a sudden there's a jaguar, a giant cat is coming to murk you.
Dude, the first time you got killed by... I thought something in your real life was going down.
Yeah.
Like someone was bashing you in real life, because the level of fear.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm sitting there.
In your borderline scream was over the top.
You were a little ahead of me of the story the whole time. So you had already encountered a cat.
Yeah.
And then, you already had some, but you completely avoided it. You didn't even get in contact and like conflict with it.
I'm no idiot, no.
But I'm just crazy. So I see this cat, right? And I'm like, well, let me fuck with it a little bit, And then I lose it. And I'm like, I don't know where the cat went. And then like a lot of time went by. I actually sat there for honestly probably like 3 minutes and didn't move. Because I was looking all around. You can hear a lot of noises. So you can hear stuff
the sound
ruffle
effects
through.
In this game are very immersive.
Yeah, so I was trying to see if I could hear it. And I thought I heard some ruffling, but I was like, I think it's just like recurring game noises. I wish I fucking took that as a warning right there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. So I start walking, and then in my peripheral, I see something, and like I already know, and I turn, and then the cat's in my face, like he's pouncing at me, and you just hear, "Oh my god, no, 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 no!"
Oh, it was horrific. It was horrific. And like, it was legit, like real sounding.
Oh, I just screamed with fear. I think I yelled. I was like, "Ah, no!" And I just fucking, and I tried the best, because at this point in the game, all I had was a stick with a rock on it. Maybe I had some rope tied to it. I don't know. Yeah, and I was just trying to swing at it, and I couldn't kill it, obviously in time before the thing murked me, and it was just genuine fear. But what I'm happy about is the very next day we were playing it again, and you got murked by the cat for the first time, because it's really the most terrifying that first time,
Absolutely.
But so I got to hear yours, and you didn't sound that much fucking different than me. I'm just saying.
No, I was waiting for that to come my way.
Yeah.
No, it's almost like a jump scare to a degree, because it's a cat. So
Yeah.
how much noise is a a wild cheetah or something making in the Amazon jungle. You're in its backyard. It's
Yeah.
not making a peep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
He
telling
knows
you,
where you are.
the sound effects in this game are so good that like when you walk through like the palm bushes or the low brush, you hear it, like the sound of the leaves. So much so that I was telling you, like, I don't even like this. I don't like walking through the bushes because I'm not 100% those sounds are mine.
Yeah.
And it could be like some, could be a rattlesnake. They have rattlesnakes in this game that you clearly hear.
Yeah, you're here.
But the first time you'll figure out there's rattlesnakes in the game is when you get bit by one. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk around in this Amazon jungle kind of like, you really do. You have to like mentally think like, how should I really be walking? And you should be paying attention to the ground. You should be paying attention to what's in front of you, what's all around you all the time. The minute you take for granted that like, and this has happened to me, I'm walking, hey, I know if I hear a rattlesnake, it'll make the sound, right? My guy goes, I get bit by the friggin' scorpion. So they get scorpions, spiders, rattlesnakes, cheetahs. Come on, man. They got stingrays in the water.
Crocodiles.
Dude, the crocodiles are like, what, a 15 to 20 footer?
Yeah.
This thing eats a lot of food.
And he'll kill you fast.
Dude, he comes after you.
So I'm pretty happy with myself. I've gotten some good kills in this game. So, like, I kind of want to go a little backwards and say, like, so when you first start on the main menu, you get two options to play. You have story mode and you have survival mode. There's pretty much all the aspects of survival mode are in the story mode. Just there's a story, and, opposite is true. You do survival mode. It's the same as story mode, just no story. So I'd recommend you might as well do story mode first time you play, because you're going to get all the survival elements anyway, and the story is really good.
Story's beyond good. Story's actually the whole freaking game.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything about the story because it's a stupid good story.
Yeah, and the only and like
spoilers everywhere.
There's a lot that unravels as you go, obviously, but because of that, anything I say is going to be a spoiler at some point in the time that you're playing it. The only thing I'll say is it's one of those games that, you could probably play through it if you rushed it, and you're only going to get a very surface layer of the story. There's a lot that you could miss. There is so much lore in this game, in the items, in just the various things you'll find, the environment. If you really take your time and explore and you care about lore, the story goes much deeper than you could, you could very easily miss how deep it goes.
Yeah, and I give them a lot of credit because you can play this game and feel like you did everything right, and then when you finish it, you realize,
I had to have missed something.
There's
something that I went too fast.
So I could see easily like you'd have to play it 3 times before you. I'm saying start to finish before you really have everything kind of honed down.
Yeah, unless you look it up.
So much shit that I would just say pay attention to everything. If it's readable, I would read it
and mentally make note of it. It's probably important.
Get into character. You're Jake Higgins.
Yeah,
so start thinking like, because I definitely had missed things.
Oh, I missed a lot.
Yep.
And I was looking for a lot. I found a lot, and I
didn't feel like I was a failure, and I didn't. I mean, we finished, but I was like, wow, okay. Having finished, I realized there was a lot that I missed.
I got enough that I kind of knew the general vicinity of what I missed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know.
Oh, no, I got exactly what you're talking about.
But I didn't know exactly where what I missed was, but I knew that, like, all right, there has to be more. And so, the game's
that's as far as the story goes. I mean, even the survival mode, which that shocks me because I didn't think. Look, truth be told, we want a multiplayer or co-op survival mode.
Yeah.
I don't care what you got to do. Care who you are. We want to play a good co-op survival mode. And so I was like, single player survival mode, I'm probably not going to dig it, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoy it more because I deliberately went through the story mode first.
I don't think I would enjoy survival mode if that was the first one I hopped into.
But I'm loving the friggin' survival mode.
Yeah, just
Putting all my skills to test without the, and they let you set the level of difficulty, so you can you can choose your level of I'll say
Death.
realism or death, because it can be set so like the wild animals are less aggressive.
yeah, like so. I think when we did the story mode, when there was 4 different difficulties,
We did the second to last hardest.
we had to because we're like, oh god, we only.
We
You
didn't
were
want
like-
the easiest, and we didn't want
Yeah.
the rational like.
But when you read the description of each game mode, it's not really until like that difficulty that we did that you really even get the full game.
Yeah, you want the animals to, if it's a wild animal or a crocodile, you want it to
kill you.
friggin'
Yeah, I
attack.
want-
You don't want to
how
be
can
able to
we
walk past a tiger, be like pet it or something. Like it's totally not aggressive.
And I think on the the lighter difficulties, it's like it pretty much even says it's just for walking and exploring and just getting the story real quick if you want. I think there's like less survival death too, and like that's a big aspect of the game. So like you have on your wrist this watch that you can shuffle through day, like to see like the day and time. Well, not really the day, but you can see the time with it, which is actually important because sometimes I'll be walking and I'll be like, oh, it's 1800.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the Amazon when the
And-
lights go out.
Yeah, with no shelter or anything like
It's
that. So
legit a little concerning to me when it happens.
oh, 100%. And then you have needs after that, so like you can shuffle through that, and like on your watch it'll show you it. And
Your
it's not
sleep.
it's not so
It's how
much
you
just
sleep.
that you're hungry and thirsty. You need fats, carbs, and protein.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to eat a diverse amount of food. So you'll find a lot of different things in the Amazon. You'll find coconuts. You'll find different fruits. You'll find
Mushrooms.
You'll find mushrooms. You'll find animals to hunt. If you kill an animal, it drops meat. And you have a backpack that has, it breaks it down into each kind of category of items. It'll be like food stuff here, and then like it's loose categories. So even though it says food item, there's gonna be a lot of different type of items there. There'll be like a tab that shows weapons, and there's a lot of different type of weapons there. There are like different types of items there, but there you have like 4 different tabs, and each tab has a certain amount of items it can hold, and you also have backpack weight. So if you surpass a certain amount of weight, pretty typical with these games. You walk slow. I imagine it tires you out faster too. I always kept my backpack under control. to be
Yeah,
honest
no,
with
I
you.
never weighted it down with rocks and shit.
No,
And it's a full crafting game, so you have to
you have to make your weapon. So
chop wood. You gotta make spears. You can make
arrows.
axes.
You got to make arrows. You got to make your bow. Unless you find one early, which is a spot early in the game with a bow.
water filtration systems.
Yeah, you have
and
to get-
drying racks. And
You have to get ways to ways to stay hydrated, because water is part of your needs, and it's not like you find water and you just drink it. You're gonna get an upset tummy. There's parasites.
you can
in this
drink
game.
it though,
But-
and you're gonna get sick.
Yeah, so that's the thing. There's fevers in this game. There's sickness,
Sound effects.
right? You can get like it sounds like you gotta either throw up, get diarrhea. It's just not a good time. His
Oh,
stomach.
if you keep eating though, because I've tortured my guy with the.
You got to know.
Here's the thing. So you're in the jungle, and there's a mushroom growing on a log. So you pick it up
And
and you look at it.
Says
and you
effects unknown.
you have a log book, and in your log book is where you can choose to build, your fire or a place to sleep or.
also
you know.
reference past notes of like this heals this.
Yeah,
this
but
is what this does.
the only way you learn is by tasting. So
Ingesting.
if you really, you got to know what to do. So it's just, I don't think in a million years I would ever ingest some wild fungus growing in the Amazon
Ugh.
jungle because I didn't know what it did. But
Yeah.
regardless, once you do,
Now you have their effects.
it now categorizes it properly in your logbook, and it might say, hey, this thing will freaking kill you.
Mhm.
So like, okay, don't eat that. But there's a different type of mushroom, so you eat it, but come to find out this one's good for
Parasites
parasites and mental stamina.
or fever.
Yep. So you really I wonder how really authentic it is to the actual herbs that exist in the Amazon, like if those actually do grow there and provide that specific service.
Yeah. No, they did a great job with it. And then there's things like tobacco leaves. You'll find tobacco leaves, which if you get poisoned and you eat a tobacco leaf, it'll reduce your toxicity.
So you could drink the water unboiled,
Yeah.
and as long as you had enough anti-parasitic type
Just-
type shrooms
I guess
on you,
you're not wrong.
to counterbalance the fact
Mhm.
that You just drink
But you
really poisonous water.
but think we're in a survival game, so you need water. You need a bowl, right?
Yep.
So what's a great bowl? I'll give you this tip because this isn't story spoilers.
No, this is just survival spoiler.
Go get a coconut, and then a coconut makes a great bowl.
And it provides. You get the water from a coconut. You get the water, and then you can eat the coconut and then get more water, and
you can store the bowl in your backpack and collect water with it. And pro tip, you actually taught me this one. It was great doing party chat with you because it's a single player game, but we can feed each other tips that we're each learning at different moments. If it's raining out and you put your coconuts on the ground, they'll collect water from the rainwater because this game's realistic, right? And you can drink that water unboiled.
Yep.
Awesome,
it's a blessing.
right?
So you can litter up an area.
I'll be walking down the Amazon,
coconuts.
and if at any point it starts raining, I go freeze. I take out my bag, I boop boop boop, throw down all my coconuts on the ground, and then I just let them all collect, and now I'm good to go.
Some people have harshed on the game because they're like, it's not really a survival game. It's just eat enough food and enough water to make it to the next.
It's a survival game because there's sickness, there's parasites.
Yeah,
dude, you can get cut.
They've gone pretty deep with, dude. There's leeches.
Yeah, the leeches, dude. The freaking leeches. They're nonstop. If at any point you walk through anything swampy or wet, look at your arms because there's probably like 3 or 4 leeches on you, and they'll drop your insanity.
Well, you know what I recommend to people? You got to do this. If it's cool, you got to pull the leeches off because you don't want to hurt yourself. But just once, leave all the leeches on you. Fucking let them gather, give birth. Who cares? And let it drive you insane because the sounds that you start hearing and the voices you start hearing. I thought it was like part of the game. Like I had entered some, I'll just say magical thing. And I was talking to you, and I'm like, I never heard you referencing this at all. And I was like, what the fuck is... And I realized, I never took the leeches off me, and I'm going nuts.
Your insanity was all the way down to like 0.
But they did an amazing job.
But you got tripping out.
If your guy gets to that level of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it was believable enough that I just... hey, this is part of the game, right? Everything that's going... Even how I'm seeing was fricked up. It was cool, man. I recommend if you haven't let leeches.
I love that they
drive
put
your sanity
your
down.
mental illness, like your mental health, as part of a survival aspect. I think that they did a great job. How could you not categorize this as a survival game when like?
Hey, I didn't write it, man.
I know. I'm just saying, like in general, because
just telling you what it was. Someone had beef. It's not a survival game.
The food intake is broken down into your macronutrients.
Your dietary nutrients.
Your macronutrients, dog. You need fats, proteins, carbs, and water. Like, dude, come on.
It's the first game I've seen really detail it out like that. Yeah.
And
usually it's like eat a chicken leg and you're good.
Let's say you kill a jaguar, which, again, I'll give myself props. I've killed a lot of jaguars. I've killed a lot of crocodiles. Call me king of the jungle, yo. The Amazon better fear me, not I fear the Amazon. Which, the thing about fighting cats and stuff like that, and fighting crocodiles even more so, crocodile takes like 5 arrows, jaguars like 3 to 4, depending on the type of cat, actually. There's a couple different types of cat. The non-aggressive animals are usually like 2 arrows, but after you hit them with 1, they slow down.
Yeah, they have like a big armadillo and like almost like a friendly warthog of some sort.
Yeah, so if you have your bow in your hand, you can keep an arrow loaded in it all the time that you're walking around with it in your hand. So then all you need to do is just pull back and shoot that first one real quick. So that's great for getting that initial combat or hunt. And then while you're holding the bow, if you reach with your free hand to your right side and you pull it over your shoulder, it instantly pulls out another bow. Or, well, actually,
arrow.
Another arrow. Jesus.
You're getting there.
Yeah, so you pull out another arrow, and then you shoot it again. So because of that, even though something takes 4 or 5 shots to kill, every time you hit it, it like stops for a second. If you're quick enough, it's pretty easy to kill one of these predators.
Yeah, that's another area of, I guess, misconception or miscommunication on the game's part where...
They never really teach you that. You just learn it. I learned it through my own hunting.
You have to kind of figure it out on your own. It's not something that's in like a tutorial of like, this is...
The majority of the game you figure out on your own.
You got to survive,
with
man.
With crafting and stuff like that.
You're in that jungle.
Pretty much in the tutorial, it'll teach you how to cook, build a fire.
Yeah.
And then...
You got to, you definitely got to explore like a mother effer.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there's like, I'm at kind of that mental point where it's like I kind of want to play it all over again, but I really want to explore every single inch of the.
Yeah, I missed some lore items. I missed some story.
But you can understand. I mean,
I was excited to advance.
there's times
too.
where you're gonna feel lost, and
Okay.
but you're not.
I'll be honest with you. Usually these type of survival games, when I play them solo, they're freaking really hard, and sometimes I'll stop playing them. Because there's so much. There's a lot. You know, and so when we selected on the second highest difficulty, and then I died pretty quickly my first time, I was like, ooh, this game's gonna be. It's gonna be a rough one because you can only save your game when you build a hut.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not like you just save whenever. You have to build a save spot pretty
You
much.
can build and not to
Which you can do whenever.
You can also, if you don't want to build a hut, you can just build like a 2-leaf sleeping bed because your guy needs.
Well, that's to sleep, but
yeah.
you can't save there.
But there's no save points on anything but the hut.
Yeah. So yeah, if you need to sleep real quick,
I will say organic saves.
yeah, there's a couple story points where they have some save points, but for the most part, you can only save if you build a full hut, which requires, big sticks like that you got to chop down a tree for.
3 huge logs,
rope, and some palm leaves.
4 palm leaves.
Which later in the game, as you advance through the story, you learn how to build bamboo huts and other types of huts. But I always just build the simple. There's always wood right there,
Well, because it's like the carryover for survival. That's all. So
yeah.
You can like if you really want to have a camp.
Yeah, you can. Which is a criticism that people had of this game who are big fans of the full game is that there's not a whole bunch of base building.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you could see it could go deeper, but honestly, what is in there isn't the worst. It goes pretty deep, like you said, water filtration systems.
For the start of what they've given, and the fact that they're aggressively updating and adding stuff, and it's like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're gonna make the.
You wouldn't really be able to build a full, like, organic base, but what you could do is like go to one of the more existing locations, and then because there's a couple camps that you'll find, and then just add all the items there and just use that hub as your base.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna build over the entire friggin'. I'll knock the whole rainforest down. I'll just put up huts everywhere. See what
Which is
happens.
nice too is if you build a safe spot and then you go back there, it's still there.
Yeah,
so,
it exists.
So I built a bunch of save spots throughout the story too because
dude, you have to.
So what I was gonna say though is like I had that impression that this was gonna be way too hard for me. And I was like, fuck, this is gonna be a struggle to get through. And then honestly, after a couple hours, I really had my groove. It was a ton of fun, and like it was never easy, but it was never too hard. Like I was able to. I had surviving in the Amazon down. I had a plethora of food. Fish, meat. I had a variety of fruits. I could start a fire and build a hut whenever I wanted. Build a safe spot whenever. Like I had my groove. It was. But early on, there's a couple times that I died and I lost a lot of progress because I was like, shit. There's even one point I didn't know how to build a hut. So I thought you had to like find a safe spot because I knew that you could only save at a hut. Yeah. And I was like, well, I need to find a hut. And I didn't know that you just go into your book, go to the
Clearly
build tab.
Tells you.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot. And then you build the hut and then you're good to go. But alas, I figured it out after like 2 hours.
No, they give you like 5 save slots that you can play with, and
I use them all for one file.
Yep. Yeah.
Just at various locations.
Yeah. You kind of have to, because there was a part where, and I misunderstood too, so part of it was on me, but thank God I had multiple save spots and save different slots, because I thought I had to go all the way back. So literally I went all the way back to where like the map pretty much begins, and friggin' thinking delusionally that there was only something there, not realizing that the Amazon provides everything you need all the time. It's like, it was such an idiot move, and I was so focused on it I wasn't even looking, and then when I got there and I grabbed the item that I knew was there, the whole walk back I'm seeing that item
everywhere,
because I'm like, that's right, it's providing me everything I need. I'm just
Yes, the Amazon is
So
abundant in ways to
Oh,
die
stupid.
and ways to live. There's resources everywhere.
No, I was concerned that once because I remember when we were playing and you were like, you know what? You were confident too. You're like, I know how to get food. I know how to get water. I've got a bunch of coconuts in my backpack.
You kill a boar, you get like
Yep, I'm
3
killing
items.
cats. I'm killing crocodiles.
Yeah, you kill a crocodile, you get like 5 pieces
It's
of
like,
meat.
what do you got to fear at that point? You're king of the Amazon. So I was like, shit. I'm like, this could get very
Easy.
and repetitive.
Then I ran out of arrows, and tell me how much of a king I was after that.
But the story that they put together, I'm gonna, just say that something we can't talk about. But man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah, it goes deep.
It's a good story.
Something I feel that we can talk about in that, because like you encounter it. I'm not going to tell you exactly. Even that wouldn't be that big of a spoiler, because it's kind of like a survival element. But like a big part of this game is ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone who doesn't know, that's the most powerful hallucinogenic psychedelic drug there is. But it's done in a ritual method by tribes in the Amazon.
If you ever want to do ayahuasca, this is for you, I guess.
Yep, and it seems like Jake Higgins is very familiar with how to do a ayahuasca ceremony. So you're gonna do ayahuasca a couple times. So if you see in the rating of this game that it's rated M, and you say use of drugs, like that's the use of drugs, you're gonna trip sack a couple times.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, if the ingredients they're telling you if that's authentic as well, it's like wow.
Yeah.
Could probably be a little more educational.
Was that the ingredient that you were looking for?
Yeah.
That you had to go back for?
Yeah.
I believe I remember you saying, and because we play in party chat, and I hear you going, I got to go all the way back to the beginning for this shit, and I was like thinking, like, do you? Because you were a little bit ahead of me, and then I was like, oh, I think I even said in the party chat, I was like, all right, nice, I found some for when I hit that point, and
yeah, because I said, look, it's not really a spoiler, but I would just load up on ingredients that you need.
Yeah.
And then,
oh, dude, I
look around. It's like, wow, I can find these ingredients everywhere.
I stayed
What
so
an
stocked
idiot.
up on bandages, because like if you fall or you fight a jaguar or a
Get
crocodile
slashed, yeah.
and you survive, you're bleeding. You're bleeding fast. So you gotta bandage yourself up. So you take like one of these medicinal leaves and you just you
Wrap
you
the
it around.
wound.
Yep. And here's the thing: that you can encounter tribes, like tribesmen.
Which again, I would not want to run into in the Amazon jungle.
Killed a couple of them.
Yeah, well, you gotta. Well, you don't have to.
No, because I ended
but
up loading
at the
up-
moment.
I ended up dying a little bit after it, and then the next time I load, I actually went a different route, and I didn't encounter them.
No, I only did once,
But,
and then I was like,
I-
all right, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Killed the shit out of them, though. They were standing there, and when I was Mr. King of the Jungle is when I had like I don't know what happened. I had like 12 arrows, and like after you kill something and you shoot it or you you can pick the arrow back up, and I guess I was doing a bad job picking up my arrows, and slowly my number went down. And like to make an arrow, you take there's big logs, which is that's where you build a lot of like the huts and stuff with, and then there's like regular sized sticks, which you'll use a lot for fires, and then there's small sticks, which you also use for fires, but with small sticks you also build arrows with them. So you put a bird feather on the arrow, which I found so many bird feathers right in the beginning of the game. Like right in that initial area, I was like, oh shit, it's bird feather galore. I grabbed all of them. I had so many arrows. And then like it seemed like later in the area, the bird feathers weren't as much on the ground, and they were expecting me to kill the birds. But I seemed to have run out of arrows, and I was like, I'm not killing a bird with a fucking axe in my hand.
They're beautiful parrots.
Oh, I would have
big ass parrots.
I would have killed the hell out of them if I could, but I was like, I'm out of arrows, so I can't hit them anymore. So I encountered these tribesmen. I only had one arrow left, and I shot it at one dude, and I missed, and I was like, damn it. I had just accepted my death, but I was like, well, let me see what happens, and I just had a stone axe, because you might find a machete or whatever later, but this time all I had was a stick, a rock, and a rope, and I ran at these dudes, and I just Hail Mary just sliced them down and killed them, but I was so close to death, I just had to bandage myself up real quick. But the interesting thing was that they dropped human meat, and my dumb ass for a second was like, oh my god, they're cannibals. They had human meat on them, like it was like in their inventory. I was like, no,
that's
you
them.
idiot, that's them.
You're the
and it's
cannibal.
giving me the option. Yeah, I can be a cannibal if I want. I was like, oh my god, no. I was like, then I didn't do it, but I was like, how much do you think it would mess your insanity up? And I should have done it for experimental purposes, but I really wanted to get through the story and everything. But yeah, you can eat human meat. You can be a cannibal, it appears.
Yeah, you can be a jerk and go around and kill tribes people if you want, but it's designed so you don't have to. You can essentially avoid them.
Yeah.
But they'll respond to, I think, if you make a fire nearby, they might come looking for you.
You might attract them. There's been actually a couple times I was cooking food and a guy got attacked by a cat.
Really?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Dude, if I see a dead animal on the ground, I start getting concerned.
Yeah, you'll be walking, you'll see like this decaying corpse, and I'll be like, "Where's a predator?"
What killed that? Because that was a big animal.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know from experience what killed it.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cat. It's coming for you.
So I love that the game was never too easy, never like
no, and that was on the second
hard.
to hardest. I'm sure the hardest
is probably a significant jump up.
Yeah.
But it was
it
was never too hard either. In the beginning, like it was like fuck, I'm learning it. Try again. But it was fun. It was trial and error. It was never like it was never a turn off. Like how much of a survival game it was.
No, I think it was an awesome experience. I really look. I loved the story, and I love the fact that now after having done the story, and you don't have to do the story at all. You could just be like, no, I just want to do the survival mode.
Yeah, but the story taught me so much, and
but it's like I just had it compelled me to like really enjoy the survival mode better because I'm like, wow, I learned a bunch of shit. You know, I know which mushroom not to eat. It's cool. There's things I'm not gonna go licking and shit. So
and. Man, if people could have heard us on party chat, they would have been like, stop saying the same goddamn thing. I don't want to hear it anymore. I just stop saying the same thing. Every time we played, we would just be like, I wish that there was multiplayer. I want multiplayer, every time. And it's true because like you look at this engine and me and you have been longing for a co-op survival game. And it's like, it's just, this is it. This is perfect. Like I would have so much fun just building a nice spot to call like this is where we're gonna stay.
Do some
this
hunting.
Is gonna be main our home. Yeah, let's go hunt.
Some fishing.
I could see us spending a couple hours, an hour, just visiting this game a couple times a week, easy. Just base building, and especially if they expanded it, if they did like expand that aspect and added bigger bases.
Yeah,
and
if they let you build like
armor,
wood planks and shit like that.
Yeah,
and kind of cool.
Us, we would go like scope. Oh my God, there's water right there with fish. So if there's no animals nearby, at the very least, it doesn't seem like there's much predator. Like we would have so much fun just even finding the initial. I don't know. I long for co-op survival in this, and
we said it every day we played it.
Yeah,
imagine how good this would be with co-op.
Yeah, and the developers did an interview with like the uploadvr.com, and they were like, "Yeah, we're working on it," and then they were like. Man, it's always funny. Sometimes I feel like developers don't, they underappreciate how much an element's going to be loved because they're like, yeah, in internal playtesting, we've been like surprised at even the small things that are fun. Like people are just tossing coconuts back and forth. But it's like you do VR games that are co-op and like always those type of interactability, like engaging with friends is always the best. It should be no surprise that multiplayer is fun in even the silliest things in this game, Imagine hunting a cat together, taking out tribesmen together, as dirty as that sounds, like just because it's a video game, every single aspect of this game would be fun with a buddy, especially because it's in VR.
No, even if they had PvP too.
Yeah, I'm more longing for
Amazon jungle.
I don't think that'll ever come.
I don't know. I would never say.
I would say expect co-op long before that.
Yeah, no, because they have co-op for friggin'
the
course
console.
They do.
Yeah,
but that's taken a beating from a performance issue. I think isn't there an issue with that?
I guess on the console it doesn't run the best, but people can still get to work and stuff. But it's not like it's bugs and issues. And on the PC it works better. But if they could bring co-op multiplayer to this, I think this would be one of my most played games. Even long after the
and if they kept building on the survival aspect of things that you could actually build to actually have a huge.
I mean, the map's a good size.
Overall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's an exploration map, so it's not all going to be detailed out in front of you.
No, but it's enough. All I need to know is where I'm located.
Which I got lost a couple of times.
There's a certain point where,
That's when I realized
you might go
you'll
off
feel
the
lost,
map,
but yeah.
and you're no longer, because like if you look at your notebook, there's a map spot and you can see it like where you are, and like I said, that's awesome. That's all I need is just give me any type of small indicator of where I might be. Your Jay Kagan's guy will even like make like little drawings on it about like certain significant landmarks as you discover them. But like there's a certain point where you can discover another map, but maybe you're in that area and you haven't discovered that map yet.
Yeah, you're there, but you just can't see.
Yeah, you can't see where
exactly
you are.
where you are. Yeah,
and that is rough in the Amazon. It all looks the same. There's just forest. There's wilderness everywhere. It's thick.
The scariest to me is though if you didn't make a bed, and it's so stupid because you can at least make a bed to sleep through the night to get to daytime to maybe build a hut to save. But yeah, building a bed in pitch black and hearing creepy ass sounds all around you, I'm convinced I'm gonna get eaten.
Technically, you don't need to even build a bed to sleep, because like to sleep, you look at your watch, and like when you're near a bed, or a hut, it says hold watch to sleep, and you hold down on your watch, and then you'll see your hunger go down, but I'm sorry, your hunger go up and your energy go up, and but you can do that without any bed there. It says sleep on ground. It's obviously not good for your guy. I had to do it one time.
No, because you get an uncomfortable sleep.
I did it one time.
Your recovery goes down or some shit.
And also, like sitting by a fire, it's good for your mental health. Yep. You get a bonus to your mental health for being by
getting
a
good
fire.
night's sleep. You get the bonus.
So it's like it's not beneficial to do that. But there was one time it went pitch black. Couldn't find any palm leaves near me. I said, all right. I could hear stuff going down. Like, dude, the Amazon at night is sketch in this game. If you don't have any light.
There's no money I would take to spend a night in the Amazon alone. No. With no tent, with knife or nothing.
The noises you would hear.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my God.
Little bugs, you'd be scared to death. Probably millipedes the size of me down there.
The bugs that could kill you.
You don't have to tell me. I've gotten Listen, I've gotten bitten by the scorpion. I've gotten bitten by the spider. I've gotten bitten by the snake.
Ignorance is not bliss in the Amazon.
Eaten by the crocodile. I've gotten stung by the... If it's there, it has already fucking attacked me. So how do you think I would do in the real world? I'd be dead. Make it 10 feet into that jungle. You'd hear it. And me thumping on the ground.
Yeah, this game was very... My first experience in Green Hell is very much how this game would go in real life.
Dude, After realizing the seriousness of the consequences for like getting bit, like you get bit doesn't mean you're necessarily gonna die, but if your guy's low on food and low on water, and he hasn't slept good in a while, meaning like all your energy is kind of drained, you don't want to get bit. Even a leech will cause havoc. You know what's kind of fucked up? They let you see the leeches on your arms, like on your forearms. You got to pull them off. There's something about the leeches that's kind of gross.
I hate them. And they're easy to miss. So you'll be like, how long did I have that leech on me, dude?
Big squiggly thing sticking on your arm.
You'll just get the stat pop up on your screen of like leech -1, -2, and you'll be like, oh, God.
I'm going to go crazy from leech bites.
Yep.
Dude, fuck that. That's so gross.
Yeah.
And then it got me thinking, like, imagine if they had ticks.
Oh, my.
I'm glad they don't. You see a tick and you got to pull it out properly or you're going to get Lyme disease in the Amazon.
Oh, I'm glad they don't.
Look, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't even care what the overall rating of this game was. I knew there was just a lot of hype because of it coming off a platform and friggin' PC and all that. So there was already an established community. But I'd never played Xbox version of it or PC. So
it was a clean slate. Ended up being one of my favorite experiences
for an Oculus store game.
Yeah,
pretty friggin' amazing.
I think that we had a great time from start to finish, and like the story.
I'm still doing the survival.
Yeah, and the story was really captivating, dude.
Just because there's things in the survival that I'll build that I never built in the story mode. Like the drying rack. I was like, I'm on the run, man.
Yeah.
I got shit to do. I got a purpose.
Yeah, I got a mission. I got somewhere to go.
Yeah, I got a legit and you do have a legit purpose. You do.
Oh, and you might miss it.
Years from now, I'd love to really talk about the lore of the game because there's a lot to talk about.
I could do a whole hour podcast on the lore.
We had to before recording this.
Yeah, we had to talk about it, get it out of our system.
Exactly, because
We had a lot to talk about.
There was way too much.
Like, so the game goes deep. Oh, it's so freaking good. They did a great job. Hats off. Hats off.
Yeah, I thought it.
And it's ported well, in my opinion. I know it's not a clean 100%, this game to that game port, but
It's pretty damn
it's on the
freaking
Quest,
good.
and it's working good.
I didn't really get any glitches.
No, minor stuff. There's some quality of life things that you might wish, but they're not glitches.
And you can play every time you play. It's gonna ask, do you want to play it standing or sitting down? And I tried the sitting so I could see.
And it's good.
It works fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can squat, jump. It's all fine.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'd have to reach deep to find a lot of negative shit on this.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm like, I'd just be probably making shit up.
Well,
and like minor shit, like going, well, not all the leaves on the ground scuffle. There's a lot of like photo imagery type shit.
And it's like, and of anything that maybe could have been better, it's like, did it actually bother me? No.
I look at it and just knowing about how games are made and shit now, it's like, wouldn't you think if it could have been better, it would have been better?
Do you think that there's anybody who was
so it's
more
like when
frustrated to cut something from the game?
When I see a complaint on something now, I can look at it a little more objectively.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, they probably agree.
They didn't go out of their way to not make it the best they could. I assure you. There was nobody who was like, you know what? I'm shooting for a 50.
Mm-hmm.
I want 50% of this being good.
And for $30, dude, like.
No, I mean the price tag. That's the first thing, and we'll get into it with our rating for value for money,
which we can get into in just a moment after this.
But I'll be pretty amazed with my opinion on that one.
Yeah.
But 29's pretty high.
Yeah,
it is a high end game, but it's also
high before you play it.
It's
yeah.
And
and then once you play it, like you said, we'll get into the value category.
Yeah.
But it's fair.
I've gotten a good taste for the survival now, which is cool. In a setting that has never existed to me in VR.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon jungle. That in itself has a little bit of like fear factor to it.
Yeah, the sound. I think it makes for the perfect co-op survival because it's supposed to it makes sense that it's desolate. There's just you guys.
I'm praying that is part of their
roadmap. Like it's really being taken serious, and
because that in itself is a game changer. And again, you're probably looking at my next like Pop 1 type played.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Time played games,
and would be something that we probably would initially go through a really bad phase of.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
go at it ham.
Yeah.
Let's put 40 hours in on this.
Yeah, it'd be really bad initially. Especially while we're getting
especially
that first
if you could build
up.
like fences.
Like you said, if they expand on the base building, if that's really on the roadmap, like now that it's up and running, like where can we do next? All right, let's do co-op. Let's start to add the more.
They're gonna hear this and be like,
"Shut up,
base building, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
it's the last thing on our mind, dude.
Yeah, we're not even doing co-op anymore. Shit sucked.
No, and their updates, again, and I'd commented before, it's like. They're legit. Just don't friggin' read them if you've never played it. Because
but they're hard at work. If you have a complaint and you send it to them, and they're probably
my god, dude. No, I was usually updates are like the standard bug fixes and other things.
It's paragraphs.
This is just you got to scroll and then scroll and maybe even scroll some more. I'm like wow, but they're really giving away the.
So we're pretty deep in this one. We haven't gotten to our final thoughts or rating, so you can tell we definitely love this one, but you wanna get into that?
Sure.
All right, well, this is always the time where we do it too, so we'll take a little commercial break. I guess you could say
a little house cleaning.
This is the time where we'll play a couple an ad for our sponsor, people who help keep the show afloat. Woo. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design. Kiwi is the leader in Oculus Quest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast.
The Oculus Quest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever find things could be a bit more comfortable, maybe a little safer? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and so much more.
And let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. You don't want to be that guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes now to prepare yourself today.
And you don't need to sacrifice comfort for cost either. Kiwi is constantly running promotions of 20, 25, and even 30% off.
Just visit the link in our show notes and use the promo code on their website to take full advantage of your savings. And be sure to follow the link in our show notes so we get credit and you help support the podcast.
Hey's everybody. Father's Day's just around the corner, and our friends at Manscaped are here to ensure that all the father figures out there are looking like daddy material this June. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which includes their signature Lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. This right here is no dad joke. Treat him and yourself and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. With this exclusive offer, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ruff Talk VR at manscaped.com. Trust me, his dad bod will thank you. You know, I got a funny story for you. Not too long ago, I walked in on my dad in the bathroom and I caught a glance of his shit, and the bush was like something out of the 70s, dude. It was nuts. That man needs Manscaped products. It is designed with fathers in mind, and the Performance Package 4.0 is here just in time for your pop's special day. Inside this package, he'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear, hair, and nose trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold his goodies. First off, let me start by saying the Lawnmower 4.0 will be the official MVP of Father's Day. Their 4th generation trimmer features a fucking cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 400K LED spotlight he needs for more precise shave. Does your pops use the same trimmer for his body and face? We know mine doesn't. Remember my bush story? Let's throw all that out the window and give him the upgrade he deserves. So to all the pops out there, make sure you buy this for yourself. For the sons, buy this for you and your pops. Ladies, you know you want to buy this for your man. And dog daddies, you deserve this treat too. Yous can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code word RuffTalkVR. Shake what your mama gave you? Nah, shake what your daddy gave you.
All right, and I'll also take the moment. You know, like I said, this is a subreddit voted episode, fan voted. You might as well join our official subreddit, join our Discord. You know, we have a lot of fun there. We're setting up events, we do giveaways that we don't always talk about on the podcast either. So a lot of fun stuff happens there. You'll be able to get some insight on what's coming next, as well as give us some input moving forward in the podcast.
Instagram, Facebook,
Yep.
YouTube.
Subscribe as well. Rate us 5 stars if you've been enjoying the podcast.
You go to Ruff Talk VR, you will find it all.
Right.
As well as the ability to buy us a coffee, which means you can sponsor an episode.
And yeah, absolutely. You can go donate either monthly or one time
Whatever
to the
you want.
podcast.
And every penny is gratefully thank you for.
Just like we always hear the developers talk about, you know, ratings and reviews mean so much. If you listen on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, and it gives you the option to rate, you know, if you haven't yet, I'd greatly appreciate.
It's an algorithm that we can't control, but that's the only control you have over the algorithm.
Yeah, if you want to help us out
Believe
without donating, boom, give us a 5-star.
That's about
helps
the biggest
so
thing
much.
you could do. Yeah.
So other than that, you know, let's get into the final thoughts and review.
Go for it, man.
Our category goes into 5 categories, each broken down into 1 to 20. We go gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, replayability, and value. So gameplay, this is maybe the easiest category for me. Clean, 20. Survival's fun as hell. Like I said, in my opinion, the survival goes deep with all the macronutrients, all the different ways to die, fevers, parasites, lacerations, leeches. Like, oh, dude, some fungus being healthy, some fungus being deadly, some fungus healing you, all the different types of meat, all the different types of fruits. Man, you know, I saw some people saying like the AI of the animals is robotic or whatever. It is once you get the hang of it and after you've gotten jump scared and killed one time, but like it's, for me, I like it because it makes it realistic. Imagine if you're fighting a real cat, like you're not killing that thing with bow and arrow. So I like the way it is now. The hunting, although, yeah, you figure out the animals and their patterns and you're able to hunt. You know, you're able to get the meat. Do you not want the meat? It was easy but hard. I guess it was a right balance of right in the middle. easy at times, but never too easy. Hard at times, never too hard that I got frustrated. So gameplay 20. Aesthetics, we said in the beginning, it's not like it might be on the console or the computer with graphics, but I'm going to say for Quest standards, I'm giving it a 20 because the environment's deep, it's huge, it's beautiful at times, deadly at others, scary at times. Just that general feel of like you said, it can almost be like anxiety inducing. It's like you're sitting there at night, like you're hearing those sounds. The To be able to induce those emotions and just how detailed it is, even though it might be lower resolution, man, we're on the Quest 2. Let's be reasonable. It's standalone VR. It's amazing that this is on it and up and running the way it is. So I'm giving it a 20. Functionality, I'll give it a 15. There was a couple times that, and it's funny because this update just came out and now we're doing the review. So it's like maybe if I had played this game from start to finish with this new update, would this even be on here? But there was like a couple times I lost arrows. Like I would kill an animal, go to pick up the arrow. All of a sudden the arrow would sink through the ground. Oh shit, lost an arrow. So like that's partially where some of my arrows went. Sometimes I would go to put things in my backpack and I don't know why they would just fall through instead of going in the backpack. Like if your backpack inventory is full, you'll hear a noise of it like be like, it means it's like it's not going in. So like in that case, you know what's going on. But sometimes I would have space and it wouldn't. It's funny too. Sometimes there's a lot. If you make any mistake in this, like if you go to use a wrong item or like put something in inventory, sometimes when it's full or just you do something wrong, you'll just hear fucking Jake just tweak out and he'll start cussing. He'll be like, "It's not fucking working." Your guy cusses a lot. So when it's full inventory, sometimes you can tell that it's not the game glitching out because Jake will start cussing. But I had some glitches there, but nothing too major. Functionality, I'm going to give them a 15 just because, a couple minor things, nothing game breaking for me. But, losing all my arrows by killing things, not being able to pick them up was me. Replayability, I struggled on this one. Do I go 10? Do I go 15? For me, like you said, you're probably going to play the story 2 or 3 times minimum, especially if you don't look up what you did wrong. And, I'll be damned if somebody figures it all out on the first playthrough. You're a smarter person than me. It's going to take you a couple times. After that, you'll probably try out the survival. For me, without the co-op aspect of it right now, there's not enough to be a 20. There's not enough to keep me in there as like one of my most played games. I'm not going to keep going back to it. It was an unbelievably good story. It's as awesome. The survival mode's there. I hope they keep building on it. But until the until the co-op's there, that's where it gets a little tough. So replayability, I'm going to give them a 10, but I could give them a 15 easily because you're going to play the story 2 times or 3 times, unless you look up spoilers. But I don't know. Just give me co-op and I'll make that a 20. I promise. I need co-op in this game. And then value, clean 20. This game could be $40 if you ask me. It's ported so well. I know it's trimmed down or whatnot for the purists who love the original, but I think it was like by hour 3 or 4 into it, we were like, wow, this might be one of both of our favorite or one of our favorite experiences on the Quest. The thing was, from start to finish, just wow, from story to gameplay to just wow. So value, geez, you could have charged me more money, $20, worth every penny for $30. If I was a little taken back at first, I don't know how much this is going to be worth it. $30 is high for a spoiled Quest store people who get our $10 games and our $15 games, and you're kind of snobby when you're scolding at 30. But fuck, man, I got nothing bad to say. Worth every penny. So 20, 20, 15, 10, 20, 85.
It's a good damn score. Okay. I agree with a lot of what you said. The only real area I think we differ from is going to be the replayability.
I could already tell. Because like you're really enjoying the Survivor, whereas I need you for that survival. I can't do it by myself.
No. So I get it.
Well, I can, but I can't stay in it enjoyably over and over and over.
Yeah. So gameplay, I give them a clean 20. Aesthetics, I'm going to give them a 20. I could see people making the argument for a 15, but from what I saw and experienced and the sounds, everything kind of comes together and it makes it that full visual audio package, and I think they delivered really well and should be patted on the back for it. So I would give them a 20. Functionality of 15. I think you gave them a 15 also. You know, there are a couple little things, but nothing that's going to take you away from the immersion or anything. But hate to say it, one of them was actually in just one of the most recent patch fix, so it's not even an issue.
Worth saying, but I guess you could say it was, and now it's fixed in case
so
anybody
like
had this.
Some of the instances that you spoke of, I'd agree with. But we'll see, because this developer is...
I think you had an issue with throwing some things.
Yeah.
But that's been fixed.
Yep. Like you can... Yeah. Because you can throw things onto living things if you need. You can take a rock and beat a spider with it, but now you can kind of throw things farther.
Which that was a complaint people had, that there were some items that might seem like you can throw them, but you throw them and they just fall. Not anymore.
Yeah, literally like a rock. Ka-thump. Fall right on the ground. But you could toss like the little stones and stuff like that. But functionality of 15, it's pretty damn close. Some issues with the swimming as well here and there, but nothing that's going to really like ruin the game experience in any way. The replayability, this is where we differ. I give them a 15, and it's only because I'm really enjoying that survival aspect of it a lot more than I thought I would. Because if you had asked me before playing it, I would have been like, nah, I probably really won't do the single player survival. I'll wait for co-op. I don't know, man. I kind of like the idea of being there. I like the environment. I like the fact that I can kind of own the jungle, that type of thing. So it's a 15, but I respect your 10. And then value for money, probably one of the most important. Look, if you're into single player, damn, this is a 20 all day long. If you're looking for just the co-op and you're willing to wait it out, still a 20 all day long. It's really worth every penny. And the fixes that they're making just shows you the aggressiveness that the team has at making this a better experience. It's like every single complaint someone dropped down,
they responded to and included it in the patch fix.
Dude,
they respond to reviews.
Value for money is a 20. This is going to be one that, you know, for a studio that takes games that are already in existence and ports it over to whatever platform, this being, you know, Quest, it is just incredible. They did a phenomenal job. So who knows how far they're going to push it now.
Yeah, I really hope they're working hard on that co-op. I'm sorry I cut you off. If you want to do your final, like the full total.
My total score will be a 90.
Yeah, so
it'll be 5 over yours, but it's still relatively close.
I think I'm just being mean that I really want the co-op, and that's why I'm putting it 10.
No, but that's the thing. It's like
I really want it, but it's still so freaking good. It's still such a good game.
If you're not into survival mode at all and you're just in it for the story mode, then it's still good value for the money. Because again, I'm hard pressed to think that someone's going to whip through it and figure out every aspect that they're supposed to in the first run through.
There's so much.
Nah, dude, you got to worry about being bitten by things, and then there's tribal things going on. And there's an actual lore that's like so deep. You're like, oh.
I didn't know what I should be looking for until it's too late to look for it.
Mm-hmm. It's usually the way it goes. Mm-hmm. But this was,
and it was right in front of my face,
dude. This was a great game. I had a blast, and I'm still having a blast. And there's still things I kind of haven't done. So,
all honestly, like this, the story mode was so good. It was one of those ones, and this is one of the first times I've had this on the Quest, where it's such a good story. You finish it and you go, "Wow!" Mm-hmm. You go, "That was an experience."
Yeah, there's some pretty deep shit.
Yeah. And like, yes,
I'm not gonna say nothing, but there's some pretty heavy.
It was like, wow, that was
some heavy shit they dump on your shoulders.
That was a good story mode. And like, I'll be honest with you,
wouldn't play this if I was depressed.
I usually only enjoy survival games in co-op style. Like, I hate managing all the survival things, and like, man, this has been one of my favorite experiences on the Quest. So it's not even a genre that I usually like in single player go crazy about, and man, I was blown away from start to finish. It's the only thing, you know, some of the cutscenes are, you go like cinematic mode, like widescreen, not 3D immersed.
Not even hating on it.
No, and they do that for other games, and what I've understood of it, and like I can disagree of it as like a hardcore user of VR who uses VR every day, but it's something that I guess us daily users or consistent users take for granted that like once you get past motion sickness, it's not a issue. But if somebody's first experience in VR, they experience motion sickness, they may never use it again. It's like they don't want to sit. You don't when you tell people that they just keep having to use it and then their motion sickness will go away, that turns people off. Like that's not the answer people want to hear.
I wouldn't do it.
So apparently, if like that's one of the most nausea-inducing things is like those cinematic cut screens in immersed VR makes newbies very, very nauseous.
Yeah,
So when you look at something like this or Resident Evil 4, which did the same thing for their cut screens, you're going to get a lot of people buying the headset just for this because it's an existing franchise or existing well-known game. And then this is going to be their first experience in VR, and then there's a cut scene early in the game, and then they're nauseous. They might say, VR sucks. So I get it. I might wish that the cut screens were...
if it frees up more space by doing it the way they do it for the actual game,
gameplay,
then I'm cool.
And there's only a couple cut screens, and they're like what, a minute? Not even.
I think of that even in console games when I'll play something and it's an extra long cutscene, like one of those you're happy you saw but you never want to sit through again because it was just so friggin' long. You're like, I hope I don't die at the end.
Yeah. Medal of Honor had some of those.
Sometimes I get angry. I'm like, are you telling me, how many gigs did you just use up to entertain me with that when it could have been put into the actual game performance?
Yeah.
So if you got to cut a corner, or just like when you load from one section of the map to the other.
Oh, it does a quick loading screen?
Does a quick loading screen. A couple of seconds, but it's still a loading screen.
And
they don't try to hide it.
No, it doesn't try to freeze.
It's a glitch. No, it's like they put up it's a
It
loading.
would be worse if it
loading thing.
froze for a second and then you went through. It says loading and
but I get that too because you're literally loading an entire another segment of the map. But
dude, it's so impressive that these areas are functioning on the Quest with that much like life and items and scenery and just. Yes, there's a couple things that if you go super up close with, wow, they're pixel because it's like not supposed to be an important item that anybody cared about or really looked at, and like.
Yeah, we're talking about the Quest. I think they did great.
I had a great experience.
Hats off. The aesthetics to me were really, really good.
Aesthetics to me goes deeper than high resolution.
It's the sound effects.
The immersion,
voices. Dude, the noises.
You get that feeling a little bit sometimes at nighttime when you're not fully set up and like
a little bit. Dude, every single time that sun goes down.
Yeah.
And I'm just not smart enough to have built my little bitty.
If you're getting real emotion out of me like that,
then
you're going to get a 20.
You'll get anxiety. You'll get like actual... There's a couple of times in the game I put myself with my back against an object because I was so scared I was going to get jumped from behind by something. I'm like, well, if I just stand here pressed up against this, that can't get me from behind, right? I'll just be fine. I'm literally just standing there in VR, not doing a thing, all scared, waiting for time to go by.
Yeah, no, they did a great job.
Have a backup battery, and then have a backup battery for your backup battery, and then if you really want to enjoy it, get 2 more backup batteries because you're getting hours. I think someone in our community said took them 20 hours to finish.
And you'll see some reviews that like if you really know what you're doing, you can build through.
Yeah, but the key is if you know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna kill a 24-hour day
because you do the tutorial. After the tutorial, you get an auto save, and then your next saves. You got to build the hut. And I didn't know how to build a hut for a little bit. I lost like my first couple hours of gameplay was just like starting and dying, getting a little like figuring it out, trial and error. And then from there, honestly, after that, I did great. But
I started over once I got the hang of the gist of survival. I'm like, now I'll start the game.
Pretty much the same thing for me too. Yep. It's like you got to figure out.
I definitely recommend it though for a fun, original experience in VR today. Yeah,
you go in feeling very overwhelmed initially after the tutorial. It's like, oh shit, here it goes. But then you figure it out. Just
you literally survive.
Yeah, game's so good. I wish we could talk about the story. I can't believe we talked this long without talking about the story.
I'm not saying jack about the story.
Oh my god! If anybody wants to, if anybody wants to pop into our subreddit or Discord and talk about the story with us at all, I'll talk for days. I love this. This game was great. So, anything else you want to talk about on this one that we didn't get to, or?
No, I think we covered it all, and
yeah, thank you.
Definitely a worth own, and yeah, thanks
I'm
to the
so
community
glad
for
that they
voting
voted for this one, because I don't think it. I mean, it was on our list of, like, we got to get to it.
It wasn't going to happen as soon as it did, though.
No, and I think we got to make another one of those votes soon.
I like it. I'd rather put it into someone else's hands, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a cool little thing.
Truthfully, if there's a game that, like, I really want to play, then of course I'm gonna, like, try to be like, hey, can we work on reviewing this one?
But look at this. This wasn't going to be our first pick by any means.
No. So
and here it is. So I'm glad. This one actually
took us.
This one took us a good amount of time to review too.
I'm excited too.
We had to put this one.
Put the hours.
We put hours into this one. This one was good.
This is no joke.
All right. Hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, bunch of times, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen to. Go join our Discord, our subreddit, official communities. You can find those all in the show notes, the episode description.
Buy us a coffee.
Yeah, you can also, go to our Buy Me a Coffee link where you can donate one time or multiple times. Other than that, check you guys out next week and enjoy the show.
Take care.